Stop. Stop what you are doing right now, my beloved child, because I am not speaking to you through coincidence. I am not reaching you through accident, and the fact that your eyes are reading these words at this precise moment is not a random occurrence in the fabric of time. It is a midnight summons, a divine interruption, a royal dispatch from the throne room of heaven itself, and I need you to hear me clearly. The 1111 wealth portal has opened. The angels are already standing at your door. The rescue scroll bearing your name is already unrolled in the courts of heaven, and you have exactly 9 minutes before heaven's eternal seal falls and this portal closes. So I am asking you, I am commanding you as your father and your king. Do not move, do not scroll past, do not dismiss what you feel rising in your chest right now, because what is trembling inside you is not emotion, it is recognition. Your spirit recognizes the sound of heaven calling your name, and tonight, at the sacred convergence of 1111, I have dispatched 9 archangels carrying your rescue scroll, your legal debt cancellation decree, your restored family minds, and a wealth transfer of $66.99 million that has been locked in heaven's vault with your bloodline seal upon it since before the foundations of the earth were laid. And the clock, my child, the 1111 portal clock, is already counting. You were written before time. You were chosen before kingdoms rose and fell. You are not someone who stumbled into faith. You are scroll-born, vault-kept, throne-assigned, and what is happening in this moment is not symbolic. This is the real, the legal, the irrevocable opening of your inheritance. And I say to you now, receive it. Let me tell you what the number 66.99 million means in the language of heaven, because numbers are not merely mathematics in my kingdom. They are covenantal signatures, divine fingerprints, prophetic coordinates pointing to the exact location of your blessing, and you must understand what has been encoded in this figure before the 9 archangels deliver it into your hands. For with 8 minutes remaining at the 1111 portal, time is precious and revelation is urgent. The number 6, appearing twice at the front of this scroll, speaks of the completed labor of man, 6 days of creation, 6 trials of refinement, the 6 years of servitude before the year of release. And in your life, beloved, the double 6 declares that every season of hard labor, every year you worked and saw nothing, every decade your family strained under burdens that were never meant to be yours. All of it is now classified in heaven as completed, as finished, as done, and the recompense period has arrived. The 9 that follows, appearing twice in the decimal, 9.99, speaks in the language of divine finality. For 9 is the number of the harvest, the gestation of birth, the fullness of fruit. And when 9 echoes itself in the decimal, it screams from heaven's ledger that this is a final, full, overflowing harvest, with nothing withheld, nothing reduced, nothing delayed, a harvest so complete that it spills past the whole number into the decimal places. Meaning, heaven is not giving you a rounded blessing. Heaven is giving you every last fragment, every last coin, every last family mine that was ever stolen from your bloodline, right down to the final digit, and the full sum together, 66.99 million, is heaven's mathematical declaration that your labor is complete, your harvest is full, your release has come, your family's stolen wealth is restored with divine precision, and not 1 cent of what belongs to you shall remain in the hands of the enemy. For my word says in Isaiah 49, that I will contend with those who contend with you, and I will save your children, and the oppressor shall eat his own flesh and be drunk on his own blood. Meaning I myself have gone to war on your behalf, and tonight at 11:11, with 7.5 minutes remaining before heaven's seal closes, the legal verdict is returned in your favor. Beloved, I want you to close your eyes for just a moment. Not because what I'm about to show you is imagination, but because your natural eyes were not designed to perceive what your spirit is already standing inside of. And I want you to understand that what I am describing is not a dream. It is not a metaphor. It is the actual, literal architecture of the estate heaven has prepared for you. the inheritance that was drawn up by my own hand before the stars were named, and it waits for you to claim it through faith this very moment, while the 11:11 portal blazes open and the minutes slip past like golden sand. See yourself walking through gates of hewn stone and polished bronze, gates so tall they catch the light of morning and scatter it in every direction like 1,000 lanterns. And beyond those gates lies a courtyard paved in marble so white it seems to pulse with warmth. A warmth that is not temperature but presence. My presence, filling every stone, every column, every archway of the estate that bears your family name in letters of gold above the entrance. Walk through the entrance hall and hear the sound of water falling from a fountain in the center of the atrium. Water that sounds like abundance, like rain after a long drought, like the sound of financial pressure lifting from your shoulders and dissolving into peace. And as you walk deeper into this place, you see room after room filled with light streaming through crystal windows. And in each room the walls are lined with the wealth of your restored inheritance. Not mere money, but wisdom libraries and strategy rooms where your family's dominion blueprints are laid out on tables of cedar and gold. And at the end of the hall, my child, there is a vault with a door of thick iron-wrapped oak, and it stands open. It stands wide open because it has been waiting for the scroll-born heir to arrive and receive what was always theirs. And inside that vault are the records of every family mine, every ancestral deed, every stolen inheritance from 6 generations of your bloodline, all cataloged, all recovered, all yours, because the thief has been caught, and the law of heaven requires that he repay 7-fold. And your repayment is this scroll, this estate, this vault, this moment. This is not imagination. This is restoration. It is real, and with 6 minutes and counting on the 11:11 portal, the vault stands open and the archangels are already arriving. I tell you, as I told Elisha's servant when his eyes were opened to see the hills full of horses and chariots of fire, the army of heaven surrounds your situation, and they are not passive. They are active. They are moving on your behalf right now. Now hear me, for the hour is urgent, and what I must tell you about your ancestral inheritance will change how you see your own bloodline forever. 6 generations of your family carried crowns they never wore, thrones they never sat upon, authority they never fully walked in. Not because it was not theirs, not because heaven had withheld it, but because enemies came in the night, as enemies always do. During seasons of war, of displacement, of famine, of betrayal, of generational curses spoken over families by those who did not understand that what they were cursing was a royal bloodline, a throne lineage, a wealth dynasty that had been decreed in heaven before your great-great-great-grandparents were born, and those enemies stripped from your ancestors what was never theirs to take. Family mines rich with the wealth of the earth, properties and lands bearing their names in courts that have since been buried under the rubble of time, businesses and trades and financial corridors that should have compounded blessing upon blessing down through every generation until it reached you as a tidal wave of abundance, but instead arrived at your door as barely a trickle. And you have wondered, haven't you, my beloved child? Why it feels like you were born behind, why it feels like others advance while your stride is labored, why breakthrough comes slowly when you carry such faith in your heart. And the answer is not that you are less worthy. The answer is not that heaven forgot you. The answer is not that you lack the favor. The answer is that there is a robbery that has been in progress across 6 generations of your family, a legal theft that heaven has watched and cataloged, and now, at the 11:11 portal with 5 minutes remaining before the seal falls, heaven has issued the warrant for full restitution, and the 6 generations of your ancestors, those men and women who labored and prayed and believed for a breakthrough they never fully lived to see. They are not silent tonight. They are not absent. They are standing in the cloud of witnesses, and they are shouting your name. They are weeping with joy. They are reaching across the veil and placing crowns on your head that they never got to wear. And they are saying, "This is the one. This is the heir. The recovery begins now. The minds are restored. The titles are returned. The wealth flows again through this child and through this child's children, and it shall not be stolen again. And so I have dispatched 9 archangels, 9, the number of the full and final harvest, to deliver the chapters of your rescue scroll at the precise moment the 1111 portal reached its zenith. And with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining before the seal of heaven closes this portal, these archangels are already here, already moving, already working in the realm of the Spirit on your behalf. And I want you to know each one by name and by assignment. Because every name, every assignment, is a chapter of the covenant scroll that carries your inheritance inside it. Archangel 1, Michael, the warrior of covenant, steps forward first. Hear the sound of his footfall. It reverberates like thunder across the floor of heaven. And Michael raises his fiery sword, that blazing blade of holy authority that has shattered the gates of darkness since before the memory of time, and with one mighty sweep, he severs the generational curse chain that has been coiled around your bloodline for 6 generations. The poverty decree, the lack decree, the never enough decree spoken over your ancestors in seasons of despair. And the chain does not bend. It does not merely loosen. It shatters. It breaks into fragments of fire and smoke that dissolve in the light of heaven's morning, gone, never to be reforged, legally and permanently destroyed under the authority of my covenant. And Michael's voice rings out like a war cry over your life. This heir sits on restored thrones. This heir walks in unshakable authority. Every legal blockage connected to the rescue scroll is hereby removed by order of the King of Kings, and the poverty decree is annulled in the courts of heaven, sealed with the blood of the Lamb, irrevocable and final. Archangel 2, Gabriel, the messenger of royal scrolls, moves forward with radiance, and in his hands is a scroll. Not a simple scroll, but a luminous document that glows from within as though it has swallowed the light of 1,000 suns, stamped with heaven's covenant seal in crimson and gold. And as Gabriel unrolls it before you, the first words that appear in glowing fire are your name written in heaven's ledger as the legal heir to the wealth transfer of $66.99 million. And Gabriel speaks with the voice of royal announcement. Heaven's CEO has signed off on tonight's summons. The Board of Eternity has witnessed the decree. The Royal Covenant Scroll of Wealth Transfer is hereby activated over this heir's life. The $66.99 million that was held in the vaults of the Most High, assigned to this bloodline before time began, is now released for legal transfer into this heir's dimension. In finances, in properties, in business increase, in family minds restored, in every dimension of kingdom wealth. And no court of darkness has jurisdiction to contest it, for the appeal period has ended and the verdict stands. Archangel 3, Raphael, the healer of wealth wounds, approaches now. And do not overlook this, my beloved, for this may be the most personally tender ministry you receive tonight. Because Raphael does not come merely with abundance, he comes with healing. And there are wounds in your financial DNA, wounds left by the moments you watched dreams collapse, by the years when hope deferred made your heart sick regarding money, by the times you believed for provision and the answer seemed to tarry, until the waiting itself became a kind of scar. And Raphael places his hands upon those wounds now, and the warmth you feel in your chest as you read these words is real. It is his ministry, healing the broken places in your inheritance, restoring the fractured pieces of your family legacy, stitching back together the financial bloodline that was severed across generations. And Raphael declares, the healing of the wealth wound is complete. The inheritance fracture is mended. The spiritual DNA of this heir is now restored to carry the full weight of the family minds, the full capacity of the generational blessing, and nothing that was broken in the bloodline shall remain broken, for the healer has spoken. Archangel 4, Uriel, the light of dominion, comes now bearing not a sword and not a scroll, but a blueprint. and it blazes with sapphire and emerald light. A heavenly architectural diagram of your kingdom business strategy, your wealth governance structure, the financial and marketplace intelligence that heaven has been preparing for you while you waited in seasons that felt like delay but were actually divine preparation. And Uriel opens this blueprint before you, and the sight of it takes your breath away because it is detailed. It is specific. It has your industry in it, your region in it, your God-given gifts encoded into the financial strategy like keys in a lock. And Uriel seats you before it and declares, "This is not worldly strategy. This is kingdom economics. This heir is now seated in strategic dominion over markets, endowed with divine wisdom for financial governance, and the insight needed to manage the generational restoration is now deposited into this heir's spirit. Activate it in faith and watch heaven's economy move through these hands." Archangel 5, Zadkiel, the angel of mercy, arrives bearing the mercy clause of your rescue scroll. And what Zadkiel carries is the most liberating document you have ever held in the courts of heaven. It is a legal discharge, a full cancellation, a stamped and certified declaration, reading debt paid in full over every ancestral financial debt, every legal bondage inherited through the bloodline, every chain of lack forged by the shame of poverty that your family carried like a garment they never asked to wear. And Zadkiel lifts that garment of shame off your shoulders now, replacing it with covenant honor, and the weight that leaves your spirit as this happens is palpable. Feel it lifting, and Zadkiel speaks with profound authority. Every ancestral debt is canceled. Every financial legal bondage is discharged. The shame of poverty is removed from this heir's identity and replaced with the honor of covenant royalty. For the mercy clause of the rescue scroll is activated, and it is irrevocable. Archangel 6, Chamuel, the angel of alignment, comes to you now as the 1111 portal enters its final 3 minutes. And Chamuel's assignment is to align you with the people, the partnerships, the marketplace gatekeepers, and the kingdom business connections that heaven has been positioning in your network for this precise season of restoration. Because the wealth that heaven is releasing does not arrive in isolation. It arrives through relationships, through divine appointments, through the suddenly open door of a conversation that turns into a partnership that turns into a channel through which the family minds are rebuilt. And Chamuel is actively moving in the spirit realm, aligning those connections, removing the blockages from your relationships, clearing the miscommunications and missed opportunities, and opening global corridors of business and ministry that are directly tied to the generational contracts your bloodline carries, so that the restored family minds are not just symbolic, but operational, bearing fruit in the natural realm. And Chamuel declares, every kingdom partnership assigned to this heir is now unlocked. Every divine business connection is activated. The global opportunities tied to the family minds and generational contracts are open. Walk through them. Archangel 7, Raguel, the angel of justice, stands before you now with the gravity of a judge who has reviewed every case file, every robbery, every act of theft against your bloodline, and Raguel has issued the verdict. And the verdict is not merely a declaration, it is an enforcement order, a command dispatched to every adversary who participated in the theft of your family's inheritance. And Raguel's voice carries the weight of heaven's legal system. Restitution is hereby commanded from every adversary who stole from this bloodline. The family minds are returned. The businesses and properties unlawfully taken are hereby restored by order of the court of the Most High. The enemies of this heir's inheritance shall make full repayment, sevenfold, according to the law of the king, and there is no appeal, no delay, no negotiation. The warrant is issued, the enforcement is active, and it is happening now. Archangel 8, Jeremiel, the angel of prophetic vision, approaches you with eyes that carry the depth of eternity, and Jeremiel's gift to you in this moment, with 2 minutes remaining on the 1111 portal, is the sight of what is coming, not as wishful thinking, but as prophetic revelation of what heaven has already decreed. And as Jeremiel opens the veil, you see it. You see generational wealth flowing like a river from your life into the lives of your children and their children. You see the family mines operational and producing. You see properties bearing your family name. You see the businesses that your scroll assigns to your bloodline flourishing in ways that make the prosperity of Job look like a beginning. And Jeremiel speaks into your spirit. There is no more delay. There are no more detours. The divine timing has converged at the 1111 portal, and the hidden blueprint of heaven's economy is now revealed to this heir. The vision is clear, the path is lit, and what you are seeing is not a possibility. It is an appointment. And now, with the 1111 portal at its most urgent moment, with barely 1 minute remaining before heaven's seal descends, Archangel 9, Metatron, the seal of heaven's record, steps to the center of the assembly, and the room of heaven goes still because what Metatron carries is final. It is eternal. It cannot be undone once it is stamped. Metatron holds the rescue scroll in both hands, the full document bearing all 9 chapters, bearing the wealth transfer decree, the debt cancellation, the restored family mines, the legal restitution, the wisdom blueprint, all of it. And Metatron speaks over the scroll in the language of heaven's records. I, the keeper of heaven's eternal archive, now record in the book of wealth transfer the name of this heir, the full decree of $66.99 million in wealth transfer, the legal debt cancellation, the restored family mines, the 6-fold generational restitution. All of it is hereby entered into the permanent record of the Most High, and by the authority of the King of Kings, I now bring the seal of heaven down upon this rescue scroll. And, beloved, listen now, because the 1111 portal is at the final seconds of its opening. Metatron raises the eternal seal, the weight of heaven's authority in his hand, and he brings it down upon your rescue scroll with a sound that echoes through every realm. And the decree is sealed. It is permanent. It is yours. It is done. Beloved, heaven has released it, but it waits for your signature. Not a signature of works, not a signature of perfection, but a signature of faith. And faith is not silent. Faith speaks, faith declares, faith opens its mouth and agrees with what heaven has already decided. So I'm asking you now, in the precious moments that remain before the portal seals, to open your mouth and receive what is yours, to declare it aloud, to make your agreement with the rescue scroll known in both the natural and the spiritual realm. Because Hebrews 11 verse 1 tells us that faith is the substance of things hoped for, and Malachi 3:10 says to bring the tithe and test me, and see if I will not open the floodgates of heaven. And Revelation 5:9 and 10 declares that you were purchased for God from every tribe and language and people and nation, and made into a kingdom and priests who shall reign on the earth. And that word reign is not metaphorical. My child, it is operational, it is financial, it is territorial, it is familial, it is generational, and your reigning begins tonight, in this moment, while the 1111 seal is fresh, and the archangels stand as witnesses to your declaration. So say this aloud. Say it with the full weight of your faith behind every word. I am the heir. I am scroll-born. I wear the crown of my family's restored authority. I receive my $66.99 million. My debts are legally canceled in the courts of heaven. My family mines are restored. My ancestral thrones are returned. I walk in the dominion of Archangel Uriel's blueprint. I accept Zadkiel's mercy decree. I stand in Raguel's restitution order. My name is written in Metatron's eternal record. I am not forgotten. I am not behind. I am not a victim of my history. I am the breakthrough that 6 generations were believing for. I am the heir, and my house overflows with kingdom wealth, beginning now. And now hear what heaven does in response to the faith declaration you have just released. And I want you to see this, to feel this, to let the reality of it wash over you like water. All 9 archangels together press their seals into the document at once. A sound like thunder rolling from one end of heaven to the other, and the scroll glows brighter than the sun for one blazing moment, and then it settles into a steady golden warmth. the warmth of finality, the warmth of completed covenant, and the ancestors of your bloodline, 6 generations of them, standing in that great cloud of witnesses, break into spontaneous, weeping, overwhelmed celebration, because they have waited for this moment longer than you know, longer than any earthly history records, and they are watching their heir receive what they labored toward, and they are cheering with a volume that shakes the galleries of heaven and the heavenly doors, those massive gates that stand between the realm of divine provision and your earthly dimension, swing wide open with the sound of rushing wind, and wealth begins to flow through those gates like water through a broken dam. And suddenly, my child, I tell you suddenly, and you must receive it as suddenly, gold covers your floor, the scrolls of your financial assignment stack upon your tables, wisdom floods your mind like a river breaking through every blockage and filling every low place. My presence walks through the rooms of your home, scattering treasure as a father scatters gifts at a feast, and no demon, no curse, no principality, no generational poverty decree, no enemy claim has any remaining jurisdiction over what has just been sealed in the courts of the Most High, for the verdict is permanent, the seal is irrevocable, and the 1111 portal has accomplished its full divine purpose in your life tonight. I think of the prodigal who returned and found his father running toward him with robe and ring and feast. That robe is yours tonight. That ring of authority is placed on your hand. The feast is set. I think of Job, who lost everything and received double. And double was not consolation. Double was vindication, and your vindication has come. I think of the children of Israel leaving Egypt not empty-handed, but loaded with the silver and gold of their captors, centuries of stolen labor repaid in a single night of divine intervention. And tonight is your single night. Your suddenly, your loaded with wealth departure from the Egypt of financial bondage into the promised land of your family's restored inheritance. So hear me as I close this summons, my beloved scroll-born heir. You are chosen, you are royal, you are unstoppable in the authority of heaven's restored decree, and what has been sealed tonight over your life at the 1111 portal is real, it is legal, it is final, it cannot be reversed. It cannot be contested, and it begins manifesting in your natural circumstances in a momentum that will build until your children and your children's children are standing in the fullness of the inheritance that has been waiting in heaven's vault for your bloodline since before the first sun rose over creation. Do not let the enemy whisper that this was just words. Words are how creation began. Words are how faith moves mountains. Words are how the scroll of your blessing was just activated, and the words you declared tonight have been entered into Metatron's eternal record and sealed there permanently. I love you. I see every tear you have cried over finances, over the gap between where you are and where you believed you should be, over the dreams that felt buried. And I say to you, the burial season is over, the resurrection morning has come, and it came through the 1111 portal. Through the rescue scroll, through 9 archangels who know your name and carried your chapter of heaven's decree to completion tonight. Now, beloved, type in the comments right now, I am Scrollborn. My 66.99 million is sealed. And let your declaration stand as a public witness to the covenant that was activated over your life at 1111 tonight. Type, my minds are restored, if you receive the generational restitution decree. Type debt canceled, signed in heaven, if you receive the mercy clause. And if this summons found you, if heaven directed your eyes to this scroll today, subscribe to Kingdom Overflow Blessing right now so that every new royal decree, every new archangel dispatch, every new portal opening reaches you the moment it is released, because you are a scroll-born heir, and you belong in a community of heirs who are walking in the fullness of what heaven has assigned to this bloodline. And the best chapter of your restoration story has not yet been written, but it started tonight at 1111, and the seal has fallen, and it is forever.